Hey brats, today I want to get in and talk about Rift S tracking. Probably my only qualm with the Rift S that I have is sometimes there are some tracking issues that get really crazy. Some of these did get addressed in update 1.39 and we are seeing some better results so far. Let's check these controllers out, see if there's any sort of modifications we can do or make that'll actually help these track a little better. Now, in researching the problems that people find with Rift S tracking, people bring up two major issues. One is occlusion. So occlusion is when the controller gets out of range of the cameras or potentially even too close to the cameras. So the Oculus Rift S has 5 cameras on it, 2 on the front, 2 on the sides, 1 on top to track these. And when your controller gets out of range of these, there may be an instance where the controller stopped for a second in time, but then it'll pull back into place rather quickly. And usually I've found that this doesn't actually cause an issue. So right here we see an example of it. When I swung down, the controller went behind me. It lost it for just a second. Okay, watch the left hand here. So I swing up, I swing down, it goes behind me, and it loses it only for an instant, and then it comes back. A lot of times with occlusion misses, I'll see them when I'm in editing. It won't actually mess up the combo or the note streak that I'm in the middle of. Occlusion, unfortunately, is something that can only be worked on through software. Now, what does really mess me up, as in the example here, is believed to be actually an issue with the battery in the controller. So if you swing the controller really hard, if you bump the controller into the other one, it's believed that the battery moves just enough that it loses contact, and then the controller will stay in place oftentimes for a second or even several seconds, which, as you know, playing Beat Saber, that can be detrimental. This one is actually particularly painful for me right here because I actually would have probably SS'd this song if this segment hadn't happened, as I only ended up missing one note through the rest of the song. Another one here. Let's go back and see that a little slower. So after this swing right here, watch the blue saber. It just stays in place. I missed the next one as a result. And then I missed the red one too because of my swing timing. And then it just, all that compiled on, and I ended up failing this attempt at the song. So the question we're trying to address today is there an option that can be fixed with the Rift S controllers, as some people modify their original Rift controllers to try and help combat this issue of the battery moving around? Let's take a look at the batteries, tear them apart, and see what we can do to make these work better. Today we're trying to improve tracking on the Rift S controllers. So one thing you can already see that I have had to do, I've had to tape these controllers so that when I'm playing Beat Saber, I don't accidentally open the battery compartment. So one thing that's really been bugging me about these controllers is that when I play, the wrist strap will slowly move down, and then as I'm trying to swing, this is getting in my way. So I'm gonna see if it's possible to swap these out with some old Nintendo Wii straps that will stay tight on my wrists. So the way to do that, you gotta take your battery compartment off, and then pretty easily here, these just turn and kind of slide out like that. So this had gone straight down in there. So you basically just have to do the reverse and slide it out. Now to get these to fit, the problem is these are a hook around design, and then usually you run them through there. Instead, what we're gonna have to try and do is tie a knot big enough to keep them in that same slot. So that knot is gonna have to be about the same thickness as this. So we're going to clip these at their longest point. Try to tie a single small knot. And see if we can get that knot to fit down inside of here without impeding the magnet. I'm using a very handy tool. I'm using a chopstick to push these back in here. Get out of here. So now to test, is this getting in the way of the magnet? And it does seem to be. So I either need to make sure and tuck those strings all the way in there, or I may need to clip them out. And once you've got this seated all the way in, it does seem like these will pretty easily tuck in there. I may have issues in the future. Each time I change out the batteries, these may want to slide back out. So I may still end up going back in and cutting these off. But there. Now we've got a very sturdy Wii cable in here, which will allow this to stay tight the entire time I'm playing and still protect it if I accidentally throw it. So now on to what's hopefully the more important modification. We're going to try and put a stronger battery spring in here. Cat, get out of here. Now this is going to be difficult because the spring is down here at the bottom and you can't easily get to it. So there's a couple different schools of thought here. One, I could put this down inside and secure it there. I'm going to try just seeing if I set this in here, will we get enough pressure in between this and the battery to still conduct electricity? Because the worry is even if that's pushing, it may not be pushing hard enough. Whew, there's a lot of tension there. Well, I can tell you for sure that battery is not going anywhere. Now these are 86-pound springs right here. Got these at Ace Hardware for a whopping 89 cents each. Alright, gotta say that feels really good. The light's on, so it's definitely conducting electricity to it, and it's solid. So the question is, now when it's time to take these out, am I going to be able to take these out without breaking something? Because those are really in there. Whew. Puts a lot of tension on it. It is hard to get them off. You're not going to be able to just remove these probably with your finger anymore with these springs in here. You're going to have to use some sort of a tool to get under there unless you really want to risk busting your fingernail off. But that is one. Kind of hacky looking, obviously. I wish I had black Wii straps, but I don't. And I also, at the moment, only have white or tan duct tape. So, so be it. It's about function. It's not about fashion with this. So there's one modified Rift controller. We're going to do the same thing with this one real quick. Now, as far as the other one goes, I didn't like how far those strings hung out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and remove those. I'm going to leave just a tiny bit of slack so that the knot doesn't untie itself. And then what I'm actually going to do is now that those are in and tied, we're just going to lightly burn them. There, that one went in really nice. And same thing here, we are going to put the spring down on the inside, push this battery way down in there. Battery's super tight now. Slip this back on and put this tape that really needs to be replaced down in here. And now we've got two fully functional Rift S controllers with nice locking straps. Sadly, like I said, they're white. This is about function and not about fashion with both of these. But now these will stay on our wrists. They won't slide around, and hopefully we're not going to lose any more tracking. So let's go test it out and see how they work. All right, we have got our not so pretty modified controllers here with our new straps and our batteries in place. So far, it looks like controllers are doing real good on keeping tracking. Battery doesn't seem to be an issue at all there. So what we're going to try and do, we're going to try some of the harder, faster songs, see if we can move these fast enough to bring up any more of those issues we were seeing before. We'll even probably try clanging the controllers together a little bit. Not too crazy, I don't want to break one. But sometimes I know when I'm in the middle of playing and I bump them, that can be the end of a whole song right there. Probably because that battery jolts hard enough to just end it. So let's get in, check out a few songs, and I'm going to have a mic on this one. Usually in the Beat Saber I don't, because I don't like to subject everybody to my huffing and puffing and everything. But I think being able to have some ability to talk during it is going to be beneficial. So who knows? We'll see. Pretty sure that miss was just on me right there. So far, I feel like they're being really solid. It'll also be something that I'll be able to look back as I watch this video and see if it really was causing issues also that I wasn't seeing. I'm gonna try a faster expert speed to try and help force us to flick them real fast. That one seemed pretty solid. And I gotta say, I am really enjoying these Wii straps over the Oculus Rift S straps. They just stay in place, they do what they're supposed to do, rather than slipping down on me and being an issue. Alright, I'm gonna go try a few more songs, but they're ones that are gonna get claimed, so I won't bother recording those. My thoughts after playing quite a few songs and seeing how the mods work. First of all, the Wii strap mod, definitely worth it. The straps stayed exactly on my wrist, right where I was expecting them to the entire time I was playing. I didn't have to think about the fact that the strap was there. I wasn't trying to tighten it up between stretches of notes where there was a blank spot. Definitely worth it. The spring, I would say it was still a huge improvement. I was able to play much more aggressively. I was able to still occasionally replicate if I just flicked it really hard. I don't know if that was the battery still moving around maybe on the top end where the positive is rather than the negative where the spring is. It definitely was there if I tried really hard, but I didn't have to play nearly as carefully, and I definitely noticed a lot less. So I would say still at 89 cents a spring, again, those are 86-pound springs got Ace, I would say it's worth it if you play a lot of Beat Saber. You're going to get better scores. You're going to have, more than anything for me, it's less frustration, because I just get frustrated when it's like, if I screw up a song and I can't beat it, okay, that's me, that's my skill level I gotta work on. If it keeps messing up in tracking, that bugs me because it's like, well, maybe I could have beat that song. Maybe I could have gotten that high score I was going for. So I would definitely say if you're struggling, you're getting on some of the harder, faster songs in Beat Saber with the Rift S, and you're finding that you're losing tracking a lot, not only due to occlusion, but due to really flicking that controller hard and going big on those notes. The spring does seem to help vastly with it, but know that it's still not going to be a perfect experience. I don't know that I've played Beat Saber on any headset that I feel is always a perfect experience yet, so maybe that's just kind of still where we're at, but I would say this was definitely a worthy improvement. So let me know in the comments what you thought of this. If you liked the video, hit that like button and let me know what you think of it. More than anything, I'm just trying to improve the experience, hopefully for myself making videos, and then for anyone else who wants to enjoy Beat Saber and doesn't want to deal with these frustrations. So thanks for checking out the video and hanging out with me today, and I will see you in another game.